10 rock songs, one story. You think you know Michael Jackson. The dance moves, the moonwalk, the pop domination, sure. But rock? That's where it gets complicated. Because he didn't just dip his toe in, he walked into a genre that wasn't sure it wanted him, found the biggest names in the game to stand beside him, and then outsold most of them. This is every rock song in his catalog, counted down, and we're building towards something specific. Because number one on this list isn't just the best rock song Michael Jackson ever made, it's one of the best-selling rock songs in the history of recorded music. Number 10, Whatever Happens feat. Carlos Santana, 2001. Here's the one most people walk right past. 2001, Michael Jackson is back with Invincible, reportedly the most expensive album ever recorded at the time, somewhere north of $30 million. And buried 14 tracks deep is a rock-tinged ballad featuring none other than Carlos Santana on electric guitar. Not as a novelty, not as a cameo, as a full, wailing, emotionally present co-lead. You know how Santana plays. That tone, warm, sustaining, like the guitar is breathing. It hits differently on a Michael Jackson record. And here's what gets me about Whatever Happens. Critics who actually paid attention called it one of the most handsome, emotionally precise things on the whole album. Rolling Stone said Santana's interjections gave it a momentous quality that lifted the whole song. A $30 million album full of collaborators, and this deep cut with a 60-year-old rock legend was quietly one of the best things on it. The album itself never got its due. Jackson's relationship with Sony had deteriorated. The promotion was fractured, and this song, Guitar Hero, beautiful arrangement, real emotional weight, just drifted past most people. But if you've ever reached for someone and felt them almost there, you know what this song is trying to do. And Santana's guitar says everything Jackson couldn't fit in the lyrics. Number 9, Morphine feat. Slash 1997. I need you to stay with me on this one, because this is the darkest thing Michael Jackson ever released under his own name, and most of his fans have never heard it. 1997, Blood on the Dance Floor, Slash's third studio collaboration with Jackson. A track inspired by Jackson's own design by 9 Inch Nails, and Epic Records refused to release it as a single, calling it inappropriate for the wider public. Think about what it takes to make Epic Records in 1997 say that. The song is about Demerol. Specifically, and this is the part that's hard to sit with in hindsight, it's about the drug that would eventually contribute to his death 12 years later. Jackson wrote it while he believed he'd overcome that addiction. He wasn't wrong yet, but the song knows something. It opens with a sample from The Elephant Man. Slash's guitar moves underneath like something wounded, and the bridge, "Relax, this won't hurt you. Before I put it in, close your eyes and count to 10, is one of the most unsettling things in his entire catalog. And that's a specific kind of listening experience. When an artist writes about their own worst impulse with that much clarity, and the label buries it, and then history proves them right to be afraid of it. If you've ever watched someone you cared about convince themselves they were past something they weren't, this song will find you. It will absolutely find you. Real talk. Only 9% of you are subscribed. That hurts. We're spending hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life. And if you're watching this far, you clearly care. So hit subscribe. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Now, to my subscribers, barely any of you have joined the membership. And honestly, that stings even more. You know the work we put in. You keep coming back. If these videos have ever made you feel something, if this music means something to you, join the membership. It's $1 coffee a month, and it's the only way we keep this going. Let's build this together. All right, back to it. Number 8, Scream Feat. Janet Jackson, 1995. Before we get into this one, I want you to know what was happening in Michael Jackson's life when he made it. 1993. The first child sexual abuse allegations break. A 2-year legal nightmare begins. The investigation is relentless. The media coverage is worse. And when it finally ends with no charges, no evidence, case closed, he doesn't stay quiet. He makes the most expensive music video in the history of recorded music, $7 million. Guinness World Records, directed by Mark Romanek, on 13 different sets over 10 days. He brings his sister Janet, the only person on the planet at that level, and they scream together inside a black and white spacecraft floating away from Earth. And the song itself? It debuted at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 5 on release day, breaking a record that had stood since the Beatles. The highest chart debut in the history of the Hot 100 at that point. You know what Scream sounds like. That industrial clang, that fractured fury. It doesn't sound like anything else in his catalog. It's not pop smooth. It's angry in a way Michael Jackson almost never let himself be in public. Janet said it best. Michael had so much pent-up rage about what he'd been through, about what the media had done, and he needed somewhere to put it. He chose $7 million of black and white fury, a video that couldn't be ignored, and a debut that rewrote the rulebook for what a single could do on arrival. Some of y'all remember exactly where you were the night that video premiered. Number 7, Give In To Me Feat. /1993. Entertainment Weekly called this one Michael Jackson's best ever shot at hard rock. Their words, and if you're nodding right now, you probably discovered this deep on the Dangerous album side and wondered why it never got its moment. Here's why. It was never released as a single in North America or Asia, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. Yes, the UK, number 2. New Zealand, 4 consecutive weeks at number 1. But if you were an American or Canadian radio listener in 1993, it just didn't exist. You had to go find it. Bill Bottrell wrote and produced it with Jackson. The early sessions had a raw, live room feel. Bottrell sitting on a stool, guitar in hand, Jackson singing, nothing but a simple drum loop underneath. Jackson loved it. Then, late in the process, Slash came in and added layers and layers, and the song transformed. Bottrell himself said, on the record, that he thought they might have taken it too far, that the original stripped-back version was better, and even he acknowledged it had nothing to do with Slash's playing. Slash was extraordinary. It was what the production did to the feeling. But here's what stayed. Slash's solo in Give In To Me is not a cameo. It wails, it climbs, it earns every second. And Jackson's vocal in the verses, "Don't try to understand me, just simply do the things I say," delivers it in a register that's darker, throatier, more dangerous than almost anything else in his catalog, a hard rock ballad that America never officially heard. Number 6, DS Feat. /1995. All right, this one requires some context. 1993, Santa Barbara County District Attorney Tom Sneddon launches a criminal investigation into Michael Jackson based on child sexual abuse allegations. Jackson is subjected to a strip search at Neverland. The investigation runs 2 years. No charges are ever filed. By 1995, Jackson is recording H.I.'s Story, and somewhere in those sessions, he writes a hard rock song with Slash on guitar, originally titled T.S. That would stand for Tom Sneddon. Here's what I want you to understand about what he did. The song was eventually released under the title DS, the subject renamed Dom Sheldon, presumably to avoid a lawsuit. Every published lyric sheet reads Dom Sheldon, but if you actually listen to the song, Jackson is screaming Tom Sneddon, clearly, repeatedly, by name, his full name. He changed the title, he kept the words. He knew exactly what he was doing. Sneddon later said, and I love this, that he'd been told the song ends with a gunshot, but that he had not done Jackson the honor of listening to it. Sneddon's own website listed him as the only DA in the nation to have an angry song written about him by pop megastar Michael Jackson. There's a specific satisfaction in watching someone who had that much institutional power get turned into a hard rock diss track by the most famous person on the planet. And every day of the 2005 criminal trial, a second prosecution by Sneddon that ended with Jackson acquitted on all counts, Jackson's fans stood outside the courthouse singing it. Number 5, State of Shock, Mick Jagger, 1984. This one should have been different, and the version that should have existed is one of the great what-ifs in rock history. 1981, Michael Jackson is working with Freddie Mercury, the actual Freddie Mercury, Queen vocalist, one of the most dynamic rock frontmen alive. They're in the studio together, 3 songs. One of them is State of Shock. Mercury and Jackson, trading verses on a guitar-driven rock track. The demo exists. People have heard it. It is, by every account, extraordinary. It never came out as an MJ release. By the time 1984 rolls around, Jackson is recording the Jackson's Victory album and needs a rock duet partner. Scheduling conflicts keep Mercury from making it happen. Mick Jagger steps in. Jackson is reportedly disappointed. And here's the detail that makes that disappointment make sense. Jackson and Jagger never recorded the song together. They were on opposite coasts. Their vocal performances were taped separately and combined in post. When Jackson heard the finished vocal track, he felt Jagger sang off-key, and his frustration was significant enough that he refused to film a music video for the single. Still hit number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. Mick Jagger later performed State of Shock at Live Aid in 1985 with Tina Turner, not Jackson, not Mercury, and the Mercury demo. Brian May and Roger Taylor finished it 30 years later, releasing it on Queen Forever in 2014, 5 years after Jackson had already passed. You know how that feels. The version that should have been. Number 4, Black or White, 1991. 7 weeks at number 1. That's how long Black or White sat at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. 7 weeks. The video premiered simultaneously in 69 countries on November 14, 1991, to an estimated audience of 500 million people. That's not a music video, that's a global event. And here's the thing most people get wrong about this song. The guitar riff, that choppy, instantly recognizable opening that kicks the whole thing off. Everybody heard it and immediately thought, Slash. Of course, Slash was in the video. Slash was working with Jackson during the Dangerous sessions. Slash was everywhere. Slash himself had to publicly clarify that he didn't play it more than once. The main guitar riff on Black or White was Bill Bottrell, a producer, working with a Kramer American guitar into a Mesa Boogie amp, interpreting a melody that Jackson had hummed to him in the studio. Slash is actually on the record. He plays the guitar intro in the opening skit, and he played the main riff in some live performances because by that point the confusion was so complete that it almost didn't matter anymore. At the 1991 MTV 10th anniversary show, they performed it together, and Slash destroyed his guitar through a prop car at the end, explosives and fireworks included. But in the studio, the riff belongs to Bottrell. 500 million viewers, 7 weeks at #1, and the guitar solo that defined the song wasn't played by who history decided played it. If you're nodding right now, you already knew this, but there are a lot of people in these comments who don't. Number 3, Dirty Diana, 1988. Quincy Jones, in a moment of genius or mischief, depending on how you look at it, called producer Ted Templeman and asked him who could play a blistering rock guitar solo for the follow-up to Beat It. Templeman's answer, Steve Stevens, Billy Idol's guitarist, the man behind White Wedding, the dive bomb king. You'll never make me stay, so take your weight off of me. Dirty Diana is a heavy metal-edged minor key rock song about a groupie who won't leave, delivered with a snarl that surprised everyone who thought they knew what Michael Jackson sounded like. It's blunt, it's mean, it works. In July 1988, it hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making Bad the first album by a male artist in history to produce 5 consecutive #1 singles. No male artist had ever done that before. Jackson broke his own record with himself. And now here's the detail that turns this into a story. For the Bad World Tour leg in London, Jackson removed Dirty Diana from his set list. He was performing at Wembley Stadium. Princess Diana was in attendance. He pulled the song out of respect. Thought it might make her uncomfortable given the title. She found out he'd pulled it. She came to him before the show and told him she wanted him to perform it, that it was, in fact, one of her favorite songs. He put it back in. That night, at Wembley, with Princess Diana in the audience, Michael Jackson performed Dirty Diana. That part still gets me. Number 2, the night Eddie Van Halen changed everything. Before we get to #1, I need to tell you how it was built. 1982, Quincy Jones tells Michael Jackson, "Write me a rock song, something like My Sharona, something that has the edge of real rock and roll." Jackson writes a riff and hums it to a 24-year-old session guitarist named Steve Lukather from Toto, a band that, in 1982, is running hot off a #1 hit of their own. Lukather takes the riff, adds a variation, plays all the rhythm guitars and the bass, and builds the skeleton of what will become one of the most famous songs in pop history. But the track needs something more. A solo that justifies the whole premise. Quincy Jones picks up the phone and calls the greatest rock guitarist alive. Eddie Van Halen hangs up on him 4 times. Thought it was a prank call. When it finally sinks in that Quincy Jones is actually on the line, asking him to come play on a Michael Jackson record, Van Halen agrees. Shows up at his home studio, borrows an amplifier from fellow guitarist Alan Holdsworth, and then does something no session musician would ever do. He decides the arrangement is wrong. You've been hit by a smooth criminal. He wants to solo over the verse section, not the chorus. He can hear something in the chord progression that nobody else is hearing yet. And to make his version work, he takes a pair of scissors and physically cuts the master tape. The original multi-track sync code destroyed. Which means Lukather and drummer Jeff Porcaro have to come back and rebuild the entire rhythm track from scratch, working backward from a guitar solo they'd never heard to make the song cohere again. And Van Halen, he took no money, no credit on the album. His bandmates and management were furious. He later said simply, "I did it as a favor. I knew what I was doing." The 20-second solo he cut that afternoon is one of the most important 20 seconds in the history of crossover music. Number 1. Beat It, 1983. February 21st, 1983. Beat It is released as the third single from Thriller. It hits number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, where it stays for 3 weeks. It also charts at number 14 on the mainstream rock chart, Michael Jackson's first rock chart hit. Billboard ranked it the 5th biggest song of the entire year. And here is the thing, most people forget about what that meant in 1983. Rock radio was not playing black artists. The MTV color barrier was already a conversation. Rock radio had its own version of it, a deeply entrenched sense of what belonged on their stations and what didn't. And Beat It walked right through that wall, not because it asked permission, because it was undeniably a rock song. Eddie Van Halen's solo was undeniably the real thing. The riff was too tight to ignore, and Michael Jackson's vocal, urgent, desperate, righteous, landed exactly where it was supposed to. He won the Grammy for Best Rock Vocal Performance Male, a pop artist, a black pop artist, on a genre award that had never gone anywhere near him. The CBS label refused to finance the video, so Jackson paid the $150,000 himself. He cast real members of the Crips and the Bloods, rival Los Angeles gangs, and brought them together in a parking lot. 60-some actual gang members, and they danced. That video has now been seen over 1 billion times on YouTube. Thriller, the album that contains it, remains the best-selling studio album in recorded music history. Beat It sold over 8 million copies in the United States alone. It is the best-selling rock song Michael Jackson ever recorded. It is, by most measures, one of the best-selling rock songs anyone ever recorded.